Imagine walking out of your house, only to find police tape around your yard, detectives everywhere, and a stranger telling you that your husband has been murdered. Now imagine that person is you, and imagine you're the one who planned it. This isn't fiction. This is the real story of Dalia Dippolito, the Florida woman who tried to have her husband killed, only to walk straight into one of the most shocking police stings ever caught on camera. Welcome to Crimson Files, where we uncover true crime, real stories, dark truth. Please like and subscribe. Some people will go to any length to get what they want: lie, cheat, steal, manipulate, and sometimes even kill. For Dalia Dippolito, it all started with a dream, a hunger for wealth, beauty, and control. But behind that perfect smile was a woman who would stop at nothing to get ahead. Born Dalilah Muhammad in 1982, Dalia grew up in New York City, the daughter of an Egyptian father and a Peruvian mother. She had 2 younger siblings and a fairly ordinary childhood. When she was 13, the family moved south, to Boynton Beach, Florida, chasing a quieter life. But even then, Dalia wasn't satisfied. She wanted more excitement, more money, and more status. By her late teens, she began living a double life: part-time student, part-time escort. She changed her name to Dalia, trading her ordinary life for one that promised glamour, and maybe a ticket out. And then, one client call would change everything. His name was Michael Dippolito, a smooth-talking businessman in Boca Raton. Married, successful, and living dangerously. One night, while his wife was out of town, Michael picked up the phone and called an escort service. On the other end of that line was Dalia. Their chemistry was instant. Within days, they were inseparable. And within weeks, Michael left his wife, filed for divorce, and married Dalia. It was fast, passionate, and doomed from the start. But Dalia's new husband wasn't exactly a saint. Years before they met, Michael had been convicted of telemarketing fraud, scamming investors out of thousands with fake currency schemes. He served his time, got probation, and promised to change. After prison, he started an online business, one that seemed legitimate, profitable, and flashy. It made enough money for him to buy a house, in cash, the same home he'd soon share with Dalia. But even while on probation, he was supposed to repay his victims. Instead, Michael transferred large amounts of money to Dalia, who quietly kept it under her maiden name. Then, in a move that sealed his fate, he put the house in her name. And that's when everything began to spiral. Soon after the transfer, strange things began happening. Michael started getting pulled over by police. His car searched multiple times based on anonymous tips. Someone was claiming he was selling drugs. Then came the blackmail note, warning that something terrible was coming. Michael thought his criminal past had caught up with him. But in reality, it was sitting across from him at the dinner table. When Dalia's subtle attempts failed, she turned to something darker. She wanted her husband gone, permanently. Her first approach was to an ex-boyfriend. He refused. Then 2 more, they also said no. Still determined, she began an affair with a man from California. And when she believed he was under her spell, she offered him cash to do the job. But this man wasn't like the others. He went straight to the police. Police now had a tip, but not enough evidence. So they set up a sting operation, one that would expose Dalia's deadly intentions for the whole world to see. Officers wired Dalia's lover's car with hidden cameras and microphones. What they captured was chilling. Subtitles of her saying, "I'm 5,000% sure." Dalia detailed everything: how much she'd pay, where her husband would be, even what time the hit should happen. And when the undercover officer posing as the hitman met her, she didn't hesitate. She handed over a photo of Michael, his schedule, and $200 as a down payment. The police set the date. The plan was ready. And Dalia had no idea she was walking straight into her own trap. On the morning of August 5, 2009, Dalia left her house for the gym. Minutes later, police moved in. They removed Michael from the home for safety and staged the scene to look like a murder. Yellow tape, blood markers, detectives, everything looked real. When Dalia returned, she saw the flashing lights and fell into her performance. Tears, shock, confusion. She even hugged officers, playing the part of the devastated widow, But inside the station, the act fell apart. Police told her the truth. Michael was alive. And the hitman she hired was standing right behind her, wearing a badge. The footage went viral. Overnight, Dalia Dippolito became one of the most infamous women in America. She was arrested and charged with solicitation to commit first-degree murder. But her legal battles dragged on for years. Mistrials, appeals, retrials. In 2017, after nearly a decade of courtroom drama, she was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Today, she serves her time at the Lowell Correctional Facility in Florida, still claiming she was set up. It's a story of greed, manipulation, and betrayal, and a chilling reminder that love built on lies can end in disaster. For Michael, survival came by pure luck. For Dalia, 20 years behind bars is a lifetime to reflect on the choices that brought her there. They say, marry in haste, repent at leisure. For Dalia Dippolito, that leisure comes with concrete walls, steel bars, and 20 long years to think about the husband she tried to have killed.